All right, so this is the team we're going to be using today. We're going to be taking on Digger, and we're going to be using Litter, Crown, Naga, Cinderella, and Red Hood. Now, obviously, I mean, we're using Red Hood because it is the weakness point, but obviously, we're mainly going to be looking at Cinderella and seeing how she does fighting against a boss battle. So ideally what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing two different attempts or two different tries with like burst skills right off the bat. Just wasting, honestly, two attempts. It's not that big of a deal. So we're going to be obviously going Litter first, then we're going to do Crown, followed by Cinderella. That's going to be the first go ahead and just see how that goes. Then we're going to be doing Litter, Naga, Cinderella. All right, and then we're going to be trying out at the end. On the last attempt, we're going to be trying out Red Hood at the end and just seeing how the damage comparisons are with all of that. So we'll keep mental notes of the overall damage that we do, and yeah, we'll just keep that in mind. This is obviously like a really go-to core team with Litter, Crown, and Naga. It's very, very common. People love to use it, and rightfully so, because I mean it is really, really good. So we're not worried about all of this. So obviously we're going to be using Litter, gain that damage boost. They're going to be using Crown as well as getting a damage boost. Also with the passive of Naga. So that's going to be very, very helpful. Cinderella obviously is going to be doing a lot of damage. And just surprisingly, like quite a bit of damage. So let's go ahead and check it out. We already have 15 million damage. Now, like I've said before, your damage is going to be different from mine, obviously. That's like just what's going to happen. So boom, boom, and then I guess we'll just do Red Hood just to finish it off. So also can kind of give us a little bit of a comparison with overall damage, perhaps. Everyone is dead. Not a big deal. I kind of figured that was going to happen. So we're sitting at 20.8 million, and obviously Red Hood is right there. But, it is kind of a caveat with Red Hood just because of the fact that, it is weakness point to iron. So we're going to be jumping back in here. Again, like I said, this time we're going to be using Naga. So obviously Naga right here. Just to see damage comparison, to see like ideal rotation wise, what's going to be good, what's not going to be good. So did all of that, about the same thing. 13 million, so a little bit less damage. It's not that big of a deal. I think previously, or yeah, like the last time we got a 10 something. So boom, boom, and boom. Obviously, just because we're not going to be able to get through. It seems like just less overall damage. Obviously, we got deaths here now, so 17.2. So obviously we got more damage in comparison between the first attempt using Crown compared to Naga. So that is very good to know. Obviously with Crown, being able to provide the shield, as we can see here, it's going to create the shield. By doing that, we're going to be getting the passive from Naga. I believe it is this one. So when the shield is applied, we're going to get damage increase to attacking core. So it's more ideal to be using Crown instead of Naga because you're going to be getting more overall damage from Cinderella because of the increased overall damage output that we get. And, just looking at my characters here, you can see the levels for the passives and the burst skills. It's not 10. It's not close. And, based off of their level as well, it's something to keep in mind. But, I do have to say, between all of the teams that I've used for them, I do think this is probably the most fun. Just because, I love using Crown. And having that ability to just use her. We also got some more equipment. So, very, very nice. Let's see if we can increase this a little bit. So, yeah, a little bit more damage and overall capability. But I do think, for me, this is probably the most fun team. I know somebody just recently commented saying that, this is the team they use. I don't think I would really have Red Hood. I'd probably swap out another character, to help buff passively. Maybe Tia. Maybe not. It just depends, honestly. Or you can just in this situation, you can just have another DPS character, off burst rotation. If Cinderella isn't ready, you would have your other DPS character, and then, swap and vice versa and all of that stuff. But this is definitely a really fun team. I do think Crown, Naga, Cinderella, this core right here is very, very strong. Moving forward, I do think that, once we get a little more focused on Cinderella, having more dupes and more damage overall, I do think that Cinderella is just going to be like eclipsing everything in the game. And, do they need a buffer a little bit more? Maybe. But, we'll discuss that more when the time comes.